All right, this is section 10.1. This is just general information regarding exponents. So we're going to start with some vocabulary and then move on to example problems. So a power is a product of repeated factors. So my power is this whole thing down here. This whole thing is a power. The base of a power is the common factor. So if I'm just looking at this picture again, 1/2 is my base. And then the exponent, this should say of a power, indicates the number of times the base is used as a factor. So this base of 1/2 is being multiplied 5 times. So this is 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. Now there's a couple different things we're going to have to do with these exponents. First thing we're going to do is write expressions using exponents. So if you have this long expanded form, we want to be able to shorten it up. Okay, so my base is -7. Oh, what is that? I don't know why that wrote up there. My base is -7. It's being repeated 3 times, so it's -7 to the 3rd power. Now I want you to notice something. If there are parentheses in the example problem, you need to use parentheses in your final answer. Okay, I'll show you in a minute why those parentheses matter. So part B, I have 2 things going on. I have pi times pi, so this is pi squared. And I have r times r times r, and r is being repeated 3 times. So B would be pi squared times r to the 3rd power. Notice how I split those up. On your own number 1, super important. I know they don't use parentheses in the example problem, but remember with exponents, if you want to tell the exponent to go both to the numerator and the denominator, you need to use parentheses, okay? So make sure in number 1, when you do this on your own, you're using parentheses on your paper. Example 2 has to do with evaluating the expressions, and this is what I was talking about, why parentheses matter. So I want you to get your calculators out, and I want you to plug in parenthesis -2, close your parenthesis, caret 4, okay? And what that means is you are multiplying -2 4 times. Okay, and notice it's -2 times -2 times -2 times -2. So a negative times a negative is a positive, and a negative times a negative is a positive, and 2 positives are a positive. So this is positive 16. You should also get positive 16 when you plug it in your calculator. Now, if you plug it in your calculator without parentheses, this is what this means. This means the opposite of 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Okay, now notice it only gave a negative to one of those numbers, which when you plug this in your calculator, you're going to get -16. So parentheses matter. I want you to write this on your note. Parentheses matter. You have to use them in the appropriate place in order to get the correct answer. Now, our last example is using order of operations. And remember, our order of operations are parentheses, exponents, multiply and divide in the order that it appears, and add and subtract in the order that it appears. Okay, so in letter A, I don't see any parentheses, so I'm going to go straight to the exponents, and you're going to evaluate this in your calculator. Now, we've not raised anything to the 4th power yet, so all you have to do is hit 3 caret 4. So 3 caret 4 will give you 3 to the 4th power, and 3 to the 4th power is 81. So I have 3 plus 2 times 81. I just copied everything else down. Okay, now I see multiplication. I'm going to do that next. 2 times 81 is 162. So I have 3 plus 162, which is 165, which just so happens to be my final answer. Part B, I have 2 sets of exponents. Okay, you can do these separately. Notice this subtraction sign is not right up against the 8. So you're just going to do positive 8 squared. So I have 3 cubed, which is 27. 8 squared you should have memorized, which is 64, divided by 2. So I have 27 minus 64 divided by 2. Now you're going to do your division next. And -64 divided by 2 is -32. So I have 27 minus 32, which gives me a -5. Now, I know there's no on your own problems for order of operations. Just make sure you are super solid on knowing what step comes first and then what comes after that. Okay? Be ready to practice this in class. See you later.